Welcome back to Coffee and Candor. This is Amber.
And Chris.
Ross.
And Brandy.
Yay!
I can't believe we got that right. All right.
Woo, somebody give me a cookie.
So for October, we gotta talk about paranormal stuff or monsters or whatever.
To be fair, Amber and I, it's always October.
Yeah.
This is the 4th of July of October.
Well, I figured, we gotta start.
Yeah, oh yeah, with Halloween coming up, absolutely.
We kind of went away with the paranormal stuff, which
so we
makes
need to
me
get
sad.
back to it.
But I have some stories that we can talk about.
Well, let's talk about it.
So the first one is the Mary Celeste. What's so funny?
I was reading a book.
We said the exact same thing
at the same time with the same tone. And
So in November of 1872, the American, whatever that word, it's a big boat, Mary Celeste.
Brigantine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, set off from New York. From New York, going to Italy, had 10 people on board. Nearly a month later, a British ship spotted the Celeste adrift some 400 miles east of the Azores. Save for a few feet of water in the hold, the ship was perfectly undamaged, still contained 6 months' worth of food and water. Cargo was untouched. The crew's belongings were still in their quarters, but there was not a single soul. But there was one lifeboat missing.
So if it was 400 miles east of the Azores, that would have been damn near. That would have been on the West African coast.
No.
Yeah.
Because it's over. It's like.
I know where the Azores are.
Isn't it over 1,000 miles to the?
Oh, it'd have been. Oh, I don't think it's that far.
All right.
But and they said it was left
It was off the coast of Portugal, right?
Like where you could see that they'd been having meals. Everything was just like they'd walked away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said some explanations. They said there's no evidence of foul play. It's still a mystery today. They don't think it was pirates or anything. Nothing was missing that it should have been.
Aliens.
Nay. They're thinking sea monsters, but
I don't think
even with a sea monster, I would think there would have been some carnage damage
to the ship.
Yeah. You did say there was no damage.
No
right?
There was a little bit of water in the hold.
Everything looked absolutely normal except for some amount of water.
Right.
And all the people were missing.
And it literally looked like we got up and walked away from this table. Coffee and meals.
1872.
Oh.
And there's I can't remember details of the story, but there's one. It's a recent one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was at least 2 guys. They were out on the ocean, I think fishing, and they went missing. There was nothing wrong with the boat.
Mm-hmm.
They just weren't there.
A lot of people said it was a rogue ship. It knocked them overboard and everything. There was still a coffee cup with coffee in it sitting on a table.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it wasn't a rogue ship.
And like you said,
there was
it's
no blood.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been a rogue wave either, because that would have tipped the.
I said rogue ship. I meant rogue wave.
I mean, a pilot or a pirate.
Yeah.
A pirate could be considered a rogue ship.
But no damage.
Yeah, I thought she was talking about pirate.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Nothing that would, think foul play or anything like that.
Let's say that we believe that it was sea monsters. Sea monsters would have left carnage.
Yeah.
There would have been stuff breakage, people running, screaming for their life,
It sounds like those people were abducted. No matter what the entity was that
how
did
they were
the
abducted, but it sounds like in the middle of just going about their day.
But you would think that if that were the case, there would have been signs of struggle. Shit would have been in disarray.
Yeah, like if they were physically overpowered, you would put up a fight. So they had to it's almost like they just And
you said there was no blood, none of that.
No. Everything normal except for the water and missing people.
Man, that's weird. So are there any prevailing theories? Or are they just
sea monsters.
That's the prevailing theory?
I mean, at that time.
And nobody else has looked into this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
It's still a mystery today.
Yeah.
And there's also that story. It reminds me of the.
But I mean, you
3
have
guys.
the ship, so it's not like you can go find wreckage and try and figure out from the wreckage. I mean, there's not
right, but you have the ship.
Exactly.
That's the biggest piece of evidence you could have.
But they found nothing
evidence.
to indicate.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Nothing's missing. It wasn't a robbery.
Mm-hmm.
Food and water still there. They didn't run out of anything.
She was seaworthy when they found her.
But you said there was one lifeboat missing.
Yes.
Yes.
How many crew were aboard?
That's what I was about
10
to ask.
people.
Well, that would fit in a lifeboat.
10 people would fit in a lifeboat.
Yeah.
So maybe they saw something that.
But that's part of the mystery.
It was a merchant ship.
The ship was seaworthy. There was no reason for them to leave the ship.
Oh, if that was a merchant ship, then
they were
had
carrying
plenty of food and water.
Denatured alcohol.
They would have not wanted to leave that ship because, if I'm not mistaken, back in those times,
they had a stake.
They would have been responsible for that loss personally.
They probably had a stake.
So, I mean, there was zero reason for them to leave. They had food, they had water. Except I don't know how the water got, that little bit got in there, but it was still
but you're talking about a ship. I mean, it was going to take on a
leaks,
little bit of water. Because,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the kind of ship it was, and,
No, I mean, I don't know about back then, but I know now ships have bilge pumps because...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think
a certain amount of water.
That's what I'm saying. There was water in there, but it wasn't anything that would make them
abnormal,
think that the ship's going down.
Yeah, it said it was still seaworthy.
Huh. That's weird.
Now, I can see, I don't know what caused them to want to leave, but if they all piled in a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean, they could go away and probably never see any sight of them or anything else in the middle of the ocean. I can understand that, but what would have made them leave?
The only thing I can think is something that they ate in the whole, like group hysteria type thing.
Yeah, mass hysteria.
Maybe they thought something was
And that's
happening.
When was the ship found?
1872.
No, what day and month?
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's going to Italy. It was a month after it left. It left in November.
All right.
So they found it. It says nearly a month.
Okay, the last log entry was written on November 25th. Okay, they left on November 7th, so they would have been found sometime around December if it was nearly a month. And the last log entry was November 25th.
Okay. And what did it say? Anything out of the ordinary?
No, it was...
Nothing like, hey, we heard a siren song and we're going to go check it out.
We saw some mermaids.
Hey,
and...
Poseidon told us to leave the denatured alcohol because he wanted to have a little nightcap. Nothing like that.
We were thirsty and drank some of it. Yeah. By the way, Friday the 13th, you know why that became a bad thing.
The Templar.
That's when the King of France had the...
Yeah, that was bullshit, too. I can't believe nobody called him out on that.
5 theories on what happened to the Mary Celeste. Let's see what they say.
Oh, wow, yeah. Cool.
Blah, 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 blah. A crazed mutiny. Initial checks of the ship found strange marks that may have been caused by an axe, and there could have been some traces of blood. Okay.
Jack Nicholson.
The Attorney General fixated on the idea that members
Remind
of the
me
crew
of Jack Nicholson later. I have a new thing to talk to y'all about.
got violently drunk on the cargo of alcohol and massacred everyone else.
Okay, there would have been a lot of blood.
Yeah, if
there
you
was
had
a
massacred a bunch of people, or even really killed the shit out of a couple, there'd be more than traces of
Denatured alcohol
blood.
would have just killed him.
Yeah,
I think it would have turned him blind first. But yeah.
It was later revealed that those bloodstains weren't bloodstains at all. They were due to natural wear and tear. The alcohol was industrial grade stuff that wasn't fit to drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Then somebody said, okay, maybe it was a criminal conspiracy.
Because denatured alcohol is closer to gasoline, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with that.
I mean, you go blind.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
just by
dead.
smelling it. Well, you can't see when you're dead either, so...
Yeah. North African pirates, they're saying, could have killed the crew, but again, the ship
why wouldn't they have taken
the ship wasn't looted.
Cargo or...
Yeah, even food, the alcohol... I mean, they would have just taken stuff. Even belongings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's belongings.
Yeah, that you would have taken people's valuables and
watches
stuff.
and things like that.
Yeah, that's kind of a trend with pirates is they tend to take shit.
Some people think that that Dio Gracia, the ship that found them, was actually the pirates that did them in.
Oh.
Trying to gain money from a salvage.
Did they collect the salvage on them?
That would be a really smart move, though.
Even more outlandish idea is that the captain and his family faked the deaths to get the salvage money through a co-conspirator. The third theory...
Why is that more outlandish?
To me, that makes a lot of sense.
Insurance fraud is not a new concept.
Yeah, it's as old as insurance.
Yeah.
Then they're saying, of course, alien abduction.
aliens.
Well, I mean,
Well, but hold on. And back then, didn't they have this type of weird reverse insurance where, like, you would actually lose money if you came back from the thing? I just made that up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fine.
no, I mean, insurance worked like it works now. It's like you pay a premium against calamity, and, if you don't have a calamity, you're just...
Out that money.
Yeah, but if you have a calamity, it protects you. They're saying alien abduction, which, I mean, okay. The last log entry was written several days before. Okay, and they're saying that's a myth, that there was no food laid out. So, some reports say that the food was laid out like they were eating.
Yeah.
Some say it wasn't. Said other people said the alien abduction theory is probably partly down to the idea that a lot of people have this picture of it being really pristine, like they were just whisked away, but that's not true. And like they said, one lifeboat, apparently there was only one lifeboat. The lifeboat was missing. So
and that lifeboat would have been...
For 10 people,
would have been plenty.
Yeah, and then they're saying natural disaster. Said it could have been a water spout, which is like a tornado at sea, which, God, that's bad enough on land. Can you imagine?
That would have torn up the ship, though.
You would think.
I mean, if it was enough to make them abandon ship, you would think it would tear up the ship.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get a even smaller
Right,
boat.
like if
no
you've got,
kidding.
okay, this big ship is taking on some damage. Let's get this tiny little ship that's a fraction of the size.
Yeah.
And that could be swamped with a tiny wave. So, yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Alcohol explosion.
Not if it was still seaworthy.
Yeah, if it was still intact.
Well, yeah, I mean, explosion would have rendered it
damage.
not
That's-
seaworthy.
yeah.
The whole
and
open,
the cargo was there, so if it exploded, it wouldn't be there.
Right.
So,
Because an explosion would have caused multiple secondary explosions.
right. I mean, once you have something highly flammable go boom,
Everything
all
else
the other
that's
highly
highly
flammable is going to go
yeah.
boom. So, yeah, those are the theories. And, okay, which theory makes the most sense to y'all?
Insurance fraud.
Criminal
That's
conspiracy
kind
is
of
one
what
that
I'm
makes
thinking.
sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the only one of those that makes
But,
sense.
Because we
there's
know
actually-
they got away. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if they survived, but they
That's
they
not
left
the only one
ship.
that makes sense. There was another one that was kind of like insurance fraud. It said the pirates.
Well, that
are
was
the ones
all
that
under
found
that
them.
one, though, criminal
Oh,
conspiracy.
yeah, that was under
Oh, okay,
criminal
okay.
Yeah, you're
conspiracy.
talking about whether they did it or someone
Or
else
somebody
did it.
else did it.
Criminal conspiracy is the only header that makes sense.
Yeah, of all those, it's the only one that ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
It's really,
And
I love
isn't
stuff like this.
ridiculously outlandish.
Yeah, I mean, I love all this.
You could probably look this up too, because I don't have all the facts in front of me for this story. But it reminds me of the there was, I can't remember where it was, but it was 3 men working in a lighthouse, and I can't remember.
Did they make a movie about that recently?
Yeah, it's called 3 Men in a Lighthouse.
No,
I don't know,
no,
but
it's
it
not, that's 3 Men in a
It
Boat.
was something about like one, the jackets. One jacket was gone.
Did they disappear?
Yeah, they disappeared, but only one jacket was gone. So they thought like if someone went out, the other
They would
ones
have
would have
taken-
gone out. They never found them, and I can't remember if there was some report
Okay,
about
is
the weather.
this it? The 3 keepers, the mysterious disappearance of the Eileen Moore lighthouse keepers. Happened off of
I think I've heard something
Scotland. Load. Okay. 26th of December 1900, a small ship was making its way to the Flannan Islands on the Hebrides. Its destination was a lighthouse at Eileen Moore, which is a remote island. Apparently, like on this island, the lighthouse was the only thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's remote.
Yeah. It was named. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. This Captain Harvey was in charge of the ship, and it was carrying. They were bringing a replacement lighthouse keeper. As he reached the platform, Captain Harvey was surprised that no one was waiting for him. He blew up his horn, set up a warning flare. No response. He rowed ashore and went up the stairs. And the replacement lighthouse keeper suffered an overwhelming sense of foreboding on the long walk to the top of the cliff. Once they got there, something was immediately wrong. The door to the lighthouse was unlocked. In the entrance hall, 2 of the 3 oilskin coats were missing.
Okay, 2 of the 3. All
yeah.
right.
So, I mean, you're obviously in a place like that where there's waves crashing. You're going to, and this was in what they said, April.
Well, probably North Shore too. So it's
Yeah.
like
Oilskin coats were
cold
missing.
and
More